Hello, Crafternooners. This is Mr. Gallagher from room 103. Thank you for coming and joining me for Crafternoon today. Let me start by saying hello to everyone. Hello, Crafternooners from room 104. Hello, Crafternooners from room 171. Hello, Crafternooners from room 102. And hello, Crafternooners from room 103. Nice to see you here. Thanks for coming. The project I have today does not need many supplies, but I'm hoping you will enjoy its end product or its end project after you see it. And there's two different ways of doing it. I'll show you each one through to completion, and then you can either work with me at the same time that I'm doing it, or you can watch the whole video and then decide which one, or both, if you want to try them both out. They both yield or give a good project at the end. The tools you will need today are scissors and glue stick, something to draw with. I'm using black marker, but you can use any color. This is just easier to see on the screen and on paper. And then red crayon or marker or both, your choice. And then you'll need paper from somewhere. I know everyone got one of these at the beginning of their arrival at school with lots of construction paper, colored paper inside. And you'll need one piece of red. And then because I'm doing the project two different ways, I have two pieces of white paper. And the white paper can be from this packet, or it can be the white paper that comes with your computer printer machine. That paper is fine too. And so then once the project is completed here, if you like it, it's the type of project you can make more of, and then you might want to get more red or another piece of white or something like that. Okay, so first off, I think I'll do the paper version first. There's a paper version and then there's a color version. So the paper way or the color way. I'm going to do this one. What I suggest is to hold your paper a little bit diagonal. And then what you're going to make are stripes. Take this back. Sorry. Hold your paper. Well, let's try it this way. I think there's a couple of different ways that will give us the good pieces we need. So let's try this first, I think, for ease. There's portrait, direction like this, and there's landscape, direction like this. I'll say let's start with landscape for ease of project development today. And then if you change your mind later, of course, the Crafternoon projects we all have, but the one I have today is to give you an example. If your brain begins to see a different way of doing it, or to add some detail or something that changes it a little bit, go ahead, because it is creative and it is your project. I'm going to give you my example to get you started. I'm going to just put my paper on my clipboard like this so it's easier for me to show. And what you'll need to do is to cut stripes going this direction. Now, depending what kind of stripy person you are, you might just begin and take a look at this paper and think, okay, I think I want a stripe about that big. And then you cut that off, and you have that stripe paper. You just kind of eyeball it, we say. Then I think I'd like a thin stripe, and then I'd like one a little bit thicker. So I'm just going to look at it and cut about that one. So I have a thick stripe and a thin stripe. If you're the type of person who likes to plan a little bit, and both ways are fine, then you might use pencil or marker to do that. And I decided this time, well, when you see the end project, you might have a different decision of what your stripes will look like. I'll show you the end project in just a minute. I decided this time I like a wavy line. So I'm going to make a wavy line like this. And then I'm going to make it about that thick. So I'm going to make a second line that follows it. Like that. I want a wavy stripe this time. So I'm going to now cut that wavy stripe out as close to being on the lines as I can. I'm not in a rush. I'm taking my time. And I don't have a completely finished project to show you today, because this is the first time I'm making this project. I thought about it the other day, so it's a new one for me. So I don't... Usually if I've done a project before, I can show an example, but I don't have one because I haven't done this before. So I don't have an example to show you. So I'm building it as I go along. Now, what I'm going to do is now I have my paper this way, and I cut it longer to be sure I have stripes that would fit across. So I'm going to hold my paper portrait now. That's the plan I have for this paper. And again, I'll give you an example, but then you can continue after you finish watching me or after you turn off the videotape. I'll just get you started on this. So what I'm going to do, just showing some possibilities. I'm going to glue my stripes here, 3 different stripes across my paper as an example. And so I put a piece of scrap paper underneath so I don't get my white paper messed up. So now I'm going to put glue on this paper here, on the red one, and then I'm taking it off, and then I'm going to put it across my white paper like that. A little bit is sticking out on each side, that's okay. Now I like to press and slow count to 10 when I do this. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I like to turn my paper upside down to be sure it's not hanging off or falls off. And then I'll do the same thing again. Oh, I think I'll put this one in the middle because it's different. I'll put this one in the middle. So now I'm going to put glue on this. The yellow paper is just so I don't get my white paper full of glue. I'm doing it in a separate place. So then I'm going to put my wavy line here. It begins to look a little like the United States flag except for that wavy part, unless it was waving in the wind. So now I'm going to press and slow count to 10. 0, 1, 2, 3. Do you start with 0 when you count? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm not in a big rush, so I'm not hurrying my counting. Okay? Doesn't fall up. It's in good shape. Now I'll do the thick one. Remember the thick one? And I'll put glue on the back of that one. Just going to rub the glue stick twice on it. That's plenty. I think that's a better way of doing it, is to put the glue on the smaller piece instead of the bigger piece. I know some people would do that, but then you've got glue in places where you don't want glue, and stuff just starts sticking to it. So I always put glue on the small piece, because then the glue is just on this and not all over the other part. So now I'm going to put that one over here. Well, I'm kind of liking the way this looks, this pattern. I wasn't expecting a pattern, but now I'm kind of liking that pattern right there. Which makes me now think I'm going to follow this stripe and make another wavy stripe here. So I have a wavy stripe. And then from this side, I'm going to cut one more of each of those shapes. I could draw a line, or my eyes could show about how big I want to make it. So it kind of matches the other, because I'm liking suddenly, I didn't think of it until just now, I'm liking the idea of the pattern. Thin, wavy, thick. Pattern is math work. And so that means I need my thin one first here. Putting my glue on it one time, and I'm going to wipe it one more time, 2 times, and then glue that to my paper like this. Then comes the wavy one. And if your brain is beginning to think about what might be going on here, keep your smarts a secret. That's what we say in room 103. Keep your smarts a secret, so no one else hears your good idea until a teacher tells you to tell us or say it out loud. So I just put glue on that. And now, remember, this is just scrap paper I've got. Yeah! It's a little gloppy. Okay? And now I'm rubbing and counting. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now once you see this project, you might start making variations and only use one stripe size. I'm going to do my wide one, my thick one, or wide. 2 more math words, narrow and wide. You might make your own varied patterns, or all the same size. I'm going to put that one up. Okay, it's going there. The glue is already in place. Like, it's a little bit uneven, but I'll live. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I didn't turn my paper upside down. Yep, everything is there. Okay, I'm closing my glue stick because I do not need it now, and I do not want it to get dry. Okay, now, in whatever arrangement you choose, like this, it's an ABC pattern. ABC, ABC. That's math work. Art and math are very closely connected. You probably know that already. You might just want to do thin stripes or wavy stripes or that, or not even red. Okay, now here's the next part. This takes some careful planning ahead of time. I'm turning it over to the back side. Landscape portrait. And I'm going to fold it in half. Yes, on purpose. I'm going to make the corners match like that. And then press it down. I'm going to just make my crease strong here. I'm going to clip it to the top so I can work with it. It's okay, stuff is hanging off. I cut it now, but it still has sticky stuff on it. So I'd probably wait a little while to cut that off later, because then it will get on my scissors, and I don't want that right now. Now here's the part where you need to do some planning and thinking. At the top, make a curvy line like that. It just goes across both sides. But it doesn't come down very far. A crescent shape, that's called geometry. In January, it's coming. Crescent is a shape. You need that shape here, and then turn it upside down, and do the same thing over here. A crescent shape. Crescent is part of a circle. You can see the curve, but it's not, doesn't go all the way around. Okay? Now be ready. It doesn't matter which side, but I'm going to do it here because I'm already in this place. I'm going to pull this down a little bit more to about there. I'm going to switch to the other side and do that too. I'm going to pull it down a little bit more, like that. Okay, be ready. I'm going to go sideways, just a little bit. And I'm going to bring this line down. Curve like that. It looks like a sideways C or part of an N or part of an H, but I did not close that part. Nope. I need to do the same thing on the other side. Symmetry. That's another word for math and art design. I'm going to do that over here. I'm going to make that come sideways a little bit and this come down so they're kind of even. I'm going to make that be curvy, but not connect that one. Okay, be ready. I'm going to make this line come down and almost touch that one, but not touch. Then I'll take this side and bring it down and bring that over. Is your brain starting to see something here? I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to bring this side line down, close, but not touching. Bring this one down. Yes! Exactly. Now, I can make that as thick as I want to. It actually looks a little thin to me. So I'm going to take this and make it a little bit thicker. I want that to be thicker. I think on that side too, I want that to be a little bit thicker, so I'm going to make that bigger. Then, here's what I do. On that fold, I'm going to cut on that fold. Right here. Later, I won't do it now. I'll do the same thing over here. Or I could do it right now. If you're the kind of person who likes to see things and copy it, you might copy this design right over here. Right when you're finished before you do anything else. You're making the curve. You're making the curve, etc. Then, excuse me, just checking my timing. Yes. Then, with my scissors, I'm cutting this out. I'm careful to not make a mess on the floor. I'm going to just cut around the whole thing like this. I'm going to cut around the outside just because it's easier right now. Then I'm going to cut on these lines and cut around. And what I made, as you will soon see, are almost. I'm trimming that part apart. 2 candy canes. You can wear them. You can look through them. There we go. Don't eat them. Paper and glue isn't as yummy as real candy canes. So for each paper, you have 2 on this side and 2 more on this side. And that's how you can make new candy canes. You begin by just making stripes. And then comes your shape and cut out, and then you have your candy canes. I made this size. If you wanted to make smaller ones going this way, you could do that, but this arrangement gives me those kind of stripes. Okay, there you go. Candy canes for people. And part of my red came off a little bit, I see here. This was supposed to be stuck over here, so I'd have to go back and fix that a little bit. But then you have 4 candy canes for every 1 piece of paper you have. And you can make designs, all the same type of stripes or different stripes or any kind you want. Your choice. I'm going to do a second video, because I'm watching my clock here, and show you how to do it with crayons or markers instead. And that will be in the next video. Thanks everybody. Hope you liked it. Enjoy your candy canes. Nice decorations for wintertime. December, January. Not just for December. And also nice, it can be a card, because you could write a message on the back. Dear Mom, I love you. Dear Dad, thank you for everything. Hello, Grandma. Howdy, neighbor. They can be cards, as well as they can be decorations, and they can be gifts. I hope you like them. Thanks for coming.